fine at Sochi. I do apologise for missing the first few minutes of that qualifying session because of our technical issue that we had there at the start. But we'll get right back into it now. Bear with me one moment while I bring up an update our drivers panel. So yes, today we are with Reina's Racing League F2 Sunday night racing. Currently at the moment we are on board with Carter, who is doing a flying lap and with a 146.2 is sitting provisional pole at this moment. And we've got Shivmeister with a 148.1, a nice lap from both our drivers so far. We have RG out doing a flying lap as well as Reagan and DB. We do have a couple of drivers in with us today that are reserving. So it would be great to see how these perform today. So Sochi is a circuit in Russia. Oh, we've got RG with 147.5. He puts himself between Carter and Shivmeister so far. We are expecting fast laps from LH and Reina today. Quaduti and Magnus are also our top contenders. Recently these drivers were on time trials and we're hitting top 10. So we're looking at really good times from some of these drivers today. So Sochi, what can I say about Sochi? Sochi is in Sochi, Russia. If anybody knows about Sochi, Sochi is a location where a lot of winter sports does take place. So it is quite chilly in those areas. Circuit is 3.6 miles long, 18 turns, and that comprises of 11 turns to the right and 9 to the left, if I'm right. This track was made by Herman Tilke, so we are looking at a very similar circuit to which ones we've had before. So we've got hello and good evening from Patrick. Hello Patrick, I hope you're having a great day today. And Benjamin Cardiff with the thumbs up, fantastic. Both drivers looking forward to this race today. So we've got Regan top of the league, top of the leaderboard at the moment with a 145.7. Fantastic time. Let's see who we've got. We've got Jim Strav and Maverick both out on fast laps. Can we see whereabouts they are? Oh well, we do on board with Maverick. Maverick is coming through turns 16 and 17 right now. Nice line, going through, going wide. Let's see if he cuts this corner. This is the corner where people do tend to cut it a bit too much. Nicely does it, using the curb, and over the line with a time of 147.0. A nice time. Carter with a 146.0. That's a nice improvement there. So we've got some quite competitive times. Let's jump on with Jim Straff. And where is he with us? Jim Straff he hasn't validated that lap. We do have a few drivers out on hot laps as well, so we'll see how they do as well in a moment. But do you want to tell you what I'll do? We'll have a little look to see where Liam is at the moment. Liam currently at the moment is sitting around at the end of 10-4, and we've got Magnus saying my name. Hello, Gary Mackay. Oh, thank you Magnus. Hope you're having a great day. Evening lad. LH, yeah, typical greeting for a Scouser. Not my kind of track. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't know many people who like Russia. Herman took a lot of corners that he put into a lot of courses he did in the past, tried to jam them all together for Sochi, and made this mess. I do apologise to Herman Tilke because he is talented. If you look at the Turkish Grand Prix this season, that was a fantastic course and everybody loved turn 8. Now Magnus with lad. Okay, thanks Magnus. So Patrick is sizing. Let's see how Sizen does as well. That'll be quite interesting to see how he does. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to, with Liam, because he's invalidated his last lap. What I'm going to do with him is jump on board with him, watch how he does his lap, because he is quite a technical driver. Liam might not have the pace sometimes, but we'll talk through the lap and see where he's going right and where he's going wrong. So, powering into turn 1 here. This is you do kind of hug the curb a little. You just kind of sweep in a little bit longer straight as it gets into turn 2. Turn 3 is a little kink off, and a lot of people don't understand why they got that kink, but the kink's quite crucial. For turn 4, this is your turn 8-esque turn. A lot of drivers don't like it, but I understand why. But turn 5 is quite sharp. There's so many right angle turns in Sochi. So he's going around now, turn 6. Turn 7 was a kink. A Carter with a new time of 1:45.7. So Liam does use a lot of the track if he can. He could have got close to the inside apex. Nice touch in the corner. Using as much track as he could. Now you want to get wide on the left here. LH, how are you tonight, guys? I am fantastic, LH. I am feeling optimistic about having a quality race today, and I hope you are too. And we do have Magnus saying he's going to stop. Right, and we got him. So we have a running joke with Magnus. I say he's going to hit a wall at some point. Let's see if it this is a circuit where chances are hitting the wall is quite high. So Liam is coming up to the final few corners here. Nicely does round that corner. And this is the area where people will tend to invalidate their lap quite a lot. As a 1:47.1, it's a nice lap time. A nice lap time by Liam. A few little bits you can improve on, but not a lot there really to get. To basically make a time up there with Carter and Reagan at this very moment, because Carter and Reagan are split by 2 100ths. So let's see what other drivers we have on board. We got DB. He is new to our league at the moment. I do believe he's reserving today, and he has put a time of 1:47.7. These are competitive times. Fantastic looking times from all our drivers. RG with a 1:47.5, Shivmeister 1:48.1, Maverick with 1:46.5, Cairo puts a time of 1:46.4. Do we have any other drivers that haven't pitted yet? We've got Shivmeister coming into the pits. Oh, sorry, I'm going to say pits that haven't done a lap. Yeah, we've got LH, Reina, Apex, Quaduti, Magnus, James Strav and Sizen all yet to put in a lap. So we'll be watching them carefully. Right, DB is currently out. He's coming into sector. He's going through sector 2 at the moment, and he hasn't validated that lap, so I don't think that's going to be much. Liam at the moment, a little bit wiggly on the road there, but I do believe this is just one of those laps. So he's just getting round. He's done a fast lap. He's going to get round. Probably putting from fresh rubber. Cairo with Cairo has done some fantastic racing recently, and it looks like he's going to be continuing that on today. In Nicholas Latifi's car is looking fantastic, and we're hoping to see. Let's see if he's improved on his sector 2 time as he approaches the line. Not entirely. He is 0.15 off his time. We've got Ben Cardiff in the beautiful candy pink car, and he takes off a small amount of time. Now every little bit counts, and it's an hour 1:46.25. A nice little time there by Ben. Now Ben was being a bit pessimistic with his racing, saying that he is only going to be hoping for 10th at the end, but I will be honest, he has got the potential to be contending up there with the front runners. We got Apex saying good evening, Gaz. Good evening, Apex. It's fantastic to see you here. Comment again. I made a mistake last time with Apex. I thought he was supporting himself when, well, of course he's supporting himself, but I thought he was supporting Apex when he actually is Apex. So it's great to see you again, Apex. So just going through any comments. Apart from all the lads, is all saying everybody saying hello. So it's great to see you. Can you, so all our viewers, if you can, just let me know what you're feeling about the track at the moment, so we can get a nice idea of how we are. Where you think you're going to be the fastest, where you think you could be improving your time. As I jump on board with Kajuti, who could be putting himself into the top 3 places with a flying lap now. Just jumping onto our chat board to see if there's anything. Right. We do have RG who's looking to try and get back in. I don't want to disrupt the feed at the moment because I've missed early moments out and I don't want to miss any more. Let's get back on it. Anybody else with any more comments would be fantastic. Tell me who your biggest rivals are. Let's have a look. Quad Duty going through. This is the part I don't like. I do not like turns 14, 15, 16, and 17. It's just, it's like an extended bus stop chicane, and it's just, it just tears you apart. Really, you got no. There's no real opportunist overtaking at that sector. As it comes round turns 19 and 18 and 19, and puts in a lap time of a 146.0. Like I said, top 3, and he's there. Car is handling like a dream today. Feels tight. The race is going to be tight, I will be honest, and you've put a very good lap in with that car. I am glad it's feeling like it's a good car today, and hopefully it will prove further with the laps of the race. I do apologise. I've got Nismo for some reason popping up on my chat, on my thing. Right, I don't know how that's happened. Let me have a look and see what's going on here, because I should not be having Nismo on here. Right, I apologise to all viewers. I do apologise entirely for this, as I am sorting out a technical difficulty, as I do not want to be having someone else's. Right, that should work. Right, I have managed to sort that out. I do apologise. Right, thank you very much for comments from Apex, who is basically kind of supporting, like, Nismet is in the race. He has retired from the session. Yeah, I've got that. It's just that I was getting a lot of feed from him regarding this his race. So we've got, at the moment, we've got sizing out on track. Where is he? He is currently going round 10, 11 at the top of the long sweeping straight. We've got, who else have we got that's coming around that final bend? We've got Magnus. Now Magnus has put a time of 145.3. I knew you had it in your Magnus. So that is fantastic time by Magnus. I am sure this will continue on the race. He has put his time in to get into the race. His time in to get the race, his race pace up. He's getting his qualifying pace up. The effort is showing there with that lap there. Fantastic. Got thumbs up from Ashley Armstrong. Ashley, if you're one of our racers, my friend, just give us a thumbs up and well, just let us know what your PSN is so we can identify you. Got a fantastic lap there from Magnus. Can we have a look and see who else is on a... That's up. Well, Sizon has put in a starter lap of a 147.8. Now, sometimes it does take 2 laps to get your tyres up to heat. So, it is all about judging that. We've got LH and Verena both on their out laps. Now, I want to jump on board with one of these, and I think it might be LH who is the closest to that start-finish line. So we will be jumping on board with LH as he performs on that lap, because I believe this could be one of our fastest laps. LH was competing with Magnus to get that fastest time worldwide. They weren't far off it. They were a few attempts off. I've not caught up and found out if they've managed to do it, but I will find out later. So we do have LH coming up to 10:18 now. So it's gonna be just jump on board, and here we go, guys, with LH's flying lap. So we are going through 10-1, which is the sweeper to the right hand side. Takes that wide, could be closer to that white line, which he is getting to now. Onto the curb, cuts that corner nicely. That's a nice double apex turn there. Around turn 4, which is Turkey's turn 8 idea wise. Herman does like that theory, and everybody loves turn 8, but they don't love this corner. Nicely around turn 5, uses as much curb as he could. Powers down to turn 6. Turn 6 is nice, cut the corner as he should, using as much curb as you're daring to. As he goes to turn 7, which is a slight kink to the right. And now on to turn 8. Now I can see the feed's a little bit jumpy, and I do apologise. That is just a connection issue, but it doesn't mean that he's racing lines off. It just means that the connection is just slightly off. As he goes round turn 11, which comes into the back sweeping straight. With this straight, you do kind of want to sit, kind of sweeping one way, then the other. When you get round to the left-handed bend, you want to be tight on this line on the left-hand side. You want to give yourself as much of a wide angle as you can as you hit turn 14. And for some reason, LH has jumped into the pit, so I am on board with Rena. And Rena was just slightly behind, so we'll jump on with that. We've got Magnus getting out of the way as Rena makes his right hand turn on turn 11. Now, there is 10, 12 and 13 here on this back straight, but it's not negligible really. It's not really there for someone to mess up on really, or hit an apex properly, because there's a late apex on that 13. To go around 14, you should be in the middle of that, between 14 and 15, so 15 can be a bit more quicker going through. Wide from 15 into 16, in the middle of the track, then right across 17 to get yourself ready for 18 and 19. 18 and 19, you've got to be extra careful, because this is where you will lose penalty points for going too wide or too shallow into that corner. Right round and over the line with 145.7, a nice time. We have new times of 144.9 from Magnus, and Magnus is putting his time in there for this race. As we can see, we'll run through the order because it is tight. If you think about it, we've got 3 drivers that are in the space of 0.05 of a second. 3 drivers are that close together. So we've got Magnus on 144.9. Carter on 145.7. Reagan on a 145.7. Reno on a 145.7 for our three drivers. We have Quaduti on a 146.0. Ben on a 146.2. Cairo on a 146.3. Maverick on a 146.5. Size on a 146.7. Correct Savant on a 146.7. Liam on a 147.1. RG on a 147.5. DB on a 147.7. And Shivmai's on a 147.7. So we do have close groups. These drivers are battling close. And we've got a new update time. Well, Raina's actually took off a chunk of time. Be quite interesting to see where he finishes off. Really, really interesting. Apex is now going out on his out lap. There we go, Raina. Let's see what you've got inside here. Let's see if you can get yourself up there in the mix of it with Magnus. Fantastic. And a 145.2. Provisional second on our position board. And that is 5 minutes left to go. So drivers, this is your chance to be getting your final laps in. You know you're making a 145 lap. So if you want to get 2 laps in, you've got to be leaving now. You've got to be making sure you get your tyres ready, you get them warmed up, you've got to get out now to make a double lap attempt. Apex out on his out lap is going for a one sweeping lap, I believe, maybe 2. Reagan's out. Reagan a 125 at the moment, so he will be coming around. So he'll be the next one to go across this line. Let's see how he does. A little bit tender going through turn 17, but that was probably a knock-on effect from a bad turn 16. Round 18, round 19, not going to be making a top time of this, and doesn't improve on his time, so maybe another lap. It does feel like he's gone a little bit quicker now, so I think he was reserving a bit of energy at the end of that, knowing that he wasn't going to make it. Let's have a look. Let's go Maverick. Maverick's on his final lap now. We've got Sizen in the pit. Correct Savant. Liam is about to start his flying lap. DB invalidated that lap, so he's got a bit of time on his hands. He can take his time, warm himself up, and give himself another lap maybe. LH on an out lap. Hopefully he's invalidated this, but that won't matter if it's an out lap. Hopefully he will be able to put in a time to compete with the front runners of Magnus, Reina, RG. RG's put a time of 145.6. Fantastic time from RG. Apex on an out lap. Jim Strav in the pits. Magnus is on an out lap. It'd be quite interesting to see if Magnus can improve on that time. Apex is staying. So no, it's not Apex, it's Patrick. Patrick is staying. I'm staying. So Simon has retired from this session, but he's staying for the race. I believe that's what he meant. Duty has retired from this session. Let's have a look. Let's see who we've got. We've got Apex. Let's see how his time is when he gets over this line. Reina with 145.1, so he's improved his time. Apex with 146.7. Puts himself in the mix with Sizen and Correct Savant. These are some great times, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic times. We need to see how LH is doing. So this is the part where LH dropped out of his fast lap and went back into the pits. So we'll continue from here where he went off. Let's see how he does, because it was quite tidy. Gets on that apex nicely done, really late. As soon as he does sit quite close to the middle. Nicely does round 10, 15, round 10, 16 now. nicely does it again. Might have cut that corner there a bit too much. Yep, invalidated that lap. He's still got a bit of time. Harness that energy, get yourself ready for another lap, because LH, I would love to see you battling up there with the front. And here we go, LH, last chance saloon for LH to put in a decent time. Last chance saloon for most of our drivers right now, with less than a minute to go to get across that line for another attempt. Let's see who we got. We got DB. DB should be coming close. He is invalidated that lap. He should have enough time to get across and put in another lap time in place. So yep, he's got time. Alright, let's see if we can flick through drivers dead quick. Let's find out. Oh, that we got Reagan's coming into the pits. Ben with a 146.2. He's got a chance there to put a new good fast time in. Maverick looks like he's going into the pits along with some of our other drivers. Apex on 146.7. Is he going for another fast lap? Greg Savant invalidated that last lap, and he will not be able to put in a new time. So out on the track at the moment we do have Magnus, Carter, who's about to cross the line, not making any difference to his time. Ben Carter is on. Apex, DB, and LH44. Oh, LH44. Let's see how he does around this corner. So we've got a couple of turns to go. It is an early start finish line, and it's a he's got pole. He has got pole. Unless Ben Cardiff can pull something magical out of his derriere, then he has got pole, because Magnus has aborted that lap. We do have, so Ben is coming up to the last few corners, followed closely by DB, so let's see how they do. Any improvements? I don't think he's going to be hammering into the times at the top, but he could be improving on his time. No, he doesn't improve on his time. Let's see, DB. DB goes into the pits. Liam has invalidated that lap. Let's see, anybody else? James Chavez still did not manage to put in a lap. Magnus is in. So that's all our drivers. All our drivers have already been out. They're in the pits. So let's recap. So we have LH pole position with 144.8. Magnus 144.9. Fantastic times from those two drivers. Reina not far behind with 145.1. RG with 145.6. Carter with 145.7. Along with Reagan with 145.7. Quadrusi 146.0. Ben in the mix with 146.2. Kyrie 146.3. Maverick with 146.5. That's the end of those times as I can read. So we'll be interested to see how this feature race goes with these drivers all putting a time on the super softs. And let's have a look. It's cross the white pit lane exit white line. Now that there it's a bugbear of mine. It looks like this is kind of repeated, so this could be one where we are looking at people. They won't get penalties because they shouldn't be going in the pit that many times, but exceeding track limits, corner cutting. So we're looking at turns. The turns to watch out for would be turn 2, turn 5, turn 6, turn 8, turn 11, turns 18 and 19 are the turns to be watching out for track limits. So here we are, guys, all ready, all set up, ready for the race. We will be opening it up with a formation lap where our drivers have the opportunity to be getting the heat all in those tyres as we look at the crowd, which looks quite robotic and quite similar, we have, it looks like two twin sisters there in different coloured tops in that mid group there. Okay. So we are just waiting for some of our drivers to get into their cars as the time is cuts down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the session should be starting now. Obviously we're waiting for the system to load up. We always have a straggler there, which wasn't too bad this time. So the formation lap will roll out now. As you can see, LH leads the way with Magnus tight in behind. Magnus dropping a comment saying on the driver Discord saying I'm not getting a good start. Well, you never know, you might get the start that you need to get in front of LH because you need to make that move quickly. Alright, let's have a look to see if we can see. So we have a mix of super softs and mediums. So we have Magnus, Carter, Quaduti, Apex, Correct Savant, Liam all choosing the medium tyres, giving the super softs an opportunity to be really doing some damage. Now the super softs are 2 classes down from the mediums, so you've got the mediums, softs, and then super softs. So you are looking at a different level of grip. Well, 2 levels different of grip really. So you should be seeing a good start from LH, Reina, RG in the battle of the top 4. With Magnus on P2 and Carter on P5. Anybody in those 2 lanes behind them may have so RG will have to be thinking about where he positions his car when it comes to the getting past Magnus with the better grip. Now I do want to hear what you guys think of this circuit, because it's a circuit it's like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. But there's some elements that people love and there's some elements that people hate, and for me, I hate everything apart from the start finish line to the turn 6. That's a nice little section, but I don't like a lot of the rest. It's too twisty, too much. It's like drawn with a ruler most of the circuit. There's no flow in it, and that's what I love about different circuits, when they've got a nice flow to them. So our drivers are coming around the last corner as they set up ready for the 5 red lights. Drivers have plenty of opportunity to put some heat into those tyres. It's great to see that none of our drivers has decided to crash out on the warm-up warm-up lap, the formation lap as you will. Let's have a look to see how they are. We do have a lot of drivers who are setting up. We've got the Univertosi of RG just getting into position now, so we are waiting for the lights to come on. As we're waiting for that, we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Hold it, and away we go for the start of the third feature race at Sochi. And we do have a twist and spin out. Who was that spun out? It was Carter. Carter spun out. Got a traction control, just took her away from him and he spun. Don't know if he's damaged any other vehicles behind him, but it looks like a great start by Reina, who's managed to get the pounce on Magnus. Magnus holding fair, but RG is battling right behind him. Let's jump on board with RG as he's looking down the back end of Magnus. Magnus on the harder tyre, going for length and stint, and defending well but not well enough, because he has to give space. Very nice driving from these 2 drivers, very respectful. RG does have the traction, but but Magnus did have the pace, and Magnus did have to go a bit wide there, but this is a battle nicely between these 2 drivers. Cairo is coming in there. It's quite a nice view this from behind. Oh, they are close. Magnus has managed to get past, but he's side by side with RG. He's got the pace. Magnus holding off. He's got two cars he's a battle with. Now Cairo's managed to squeeze past. It's like these cars are free aside nearly, and Magnus is not giving up. He's not giving up. There's a little bit of contact. I feel that's just a bit wheel to wheel. Should not have done any impact to the race. And Cairo diving in turn 16. Fantastic movement by Cairo, jumping two cars on one corner. A little bit of a touch in there from RG. I think that might just be the fact that he's got a better grip, and Magnus is not holding it. So we've got correct savant with a 3-second time penalty already for multiple warnings, which will be all track limits. We do have Magnus, who's ghosted a little bit there. I think he's just sorting a bit of admin out, and we'll have a look into where these battles are. So Reagan is battling. I'm not too sure whether this is true, because we're saying Apex is up at the top here. There's a lot of drivers going AI. Do we have a connection issue? No. LH is good. Reina is good. Reagan is good. Apex is good. Nismo is good. Carter's good. So we do have a jumbled up session. I do apologise. This is something Codemasters needs to sort out. So I am going to open up onto this, because we do know the battle is between Reina and LH at this very moment for first. A yellow sector 2. Quite surprised that wasn't Magnus in the wall. It was maybe Sizen. Let's have a look to see what our details say. So we're going to have a look at positions up and down. So we've got Carter and Sizen dropping the most places. Cairo jumping up 6 places. Jim Straff up 5 places. Nismo with a 3-second time penalty. How's he doing? Let's see this battling as he's battling behind DB and Jim Straff and Liam. So Nismo is sitting here. He is up 3 places. Fastest lap with LH with a 147. Let's have a look to see. 147.7 so far. We've not had any laps, but we do have a lot of time penalties due to those corners that I mentioned earlier. So we are going to look. Let's see. Magnus has dropped down 4 places. I kind of expected Magnus to drop down a few places due to having the harder compound, but it means he gets a longer stint. And those tyres will last a while, giving him the super softs to finish off with, which means that he could have some strength at the end of the race. Not too sure whether the alternate strategy does work very well on this circuit, but I can't. In theory, it should work well. So Nismo is just slightly off the pace. Let's see how Liam is quite close. And Mavericks twisting, pulsing, and that was a brave move by Nismo as he fires in between Maverick and Liam. Almost a Max Verstappen-esque at the beginning of his career, diving in like that, a torpedo, a Daniel Kvyat, as you will. Jim Strav, nice line through the corners. He is up 6 places. Correct Savant tailing behind Apex, as Apex up 3 places along with Correct Savant. Ben right behind Cud Duty, who are still in the positions they started in. If at the end of this race, these two will be first and second if it finishes like this. Magnus down 4, as I said, does seem to be trailing off from Reagan at the moment, who is basically sucking the exhaust pipe of RG, and RG with Cairo in front of him. The leaders, Reina and LH, leaving the packs behind them. Now, as you know, all the F2 cars are pretty much the same cars. They have little bit of slight different setups, but though absolutely the car base is all the same. It's a Mechachrome, I believe it is, or Mechachrome. Sean, please correct me, but I do believe they're the manufacturers of the cockpit and the engine as a base model. So there is no reason why that one car will perform better than the other. It will be down to driver mechanics setups that will make a difference. Now Reina does have a time penalty, which gives Cairo an open door to jump leaping him if the race ended as it stands now. But he does have to take a big chunk of time off. Let's see how many seconds. It's only 3 seconds, so Reina is quite safe with the 6-second gap. As we look at Regan making a move. Is he going to make it into this corner? It had to brake a little bit early because the corner is tighter. Space given by both drivers, very respectful. But Regan can still make the move here. And wheel slip, and there's a little bit of a clip by RG as RG tried to get past. That is, let's see if you can see. I'll jump onto Cairo and look back. Is there any damage on RG's bumper? I can't see from here. I don't think there is. I don't think that will affect the race. Now Reina has gone into the pits. He's made the early pit stop onto the medium tyres. That's 5 laps in and he's pitted. Is the undercut the way forward? Has he got it in him? Is the soft tyres that much degraded that the undercut's going to work? That is a question that Reina is putting on to us right now. Has he got it in him? He has dropped to the back of the pack at this moment, which means that he is either going to fight through all those cars or he's going to wait. And there's a spin out there as we see Carter spinning out at turn 2. Now Carter did have a spin out off the starter. I do believe that might be a traction control issue that he's had, or is he trying a new setup with the traction control? I will be taking questions and answers at the end of this with our drivers just to see how they were. Unfortunately, I don't get to put them on here for you guys. We have Magnus sitting in 5th at the moment. Magnus on the alternate strategy along with Coduti. Apex corrects Savant. That is brilliant. It's good to see Apex and corrects Savant on the alternate strategy making movements up the board. You don't tend to see it much. Liam's done the same as well. Coduti, I do believe he is in the same position as he started, so it's quite solid performance mixing it with the super softs. But these other drivers, Apex, Correct Savant, have made the medium tyres work. They have done fantastic to get those tyres working. Well, we've got LH at the moment is flying ahead, not concerned about the undercut at all, going for another lap with 10 seconds ahead. RG in 2nd, and we do have Cairo in the pits. Cairo from the super softs onto the mediums. Let's have a look at time from the leader. So there is a gap between LH and Reina of 31 seconds. That is roughly about the time it would take for a pit stop. A little bit less, I do believe it's like something like 27 seconds for this. But we'll see when LH manages to pit. We'll see that. We've got DB and Jim Shaft, Shivmeister, all three coming out of the pits. So the lineup as it is LH flying ahead, untouchable as I would say, unless he spins out. Touch wood, he doesn't. He's our runaway leader if this happens. If he gets the most points he could out of this, he could spell the end of the championship for our racers, because it would mean that LH would have won with a venue to spare, which is Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. Just don't get me started. I really don't like Yas Marina, not as much as I like Russia, so I can't really complain. Sorry. And LH is in the pits. This is interesting now. I am actually going to jump on board with Reina. Now, Reina is the one to watch. He is the lead when it comes to stops. He is in front of everybody who has pitted. So Here we go. He's round test 16. Round test 17. As he goes round, I think LH has made his pit stop. As he's coming down the table, let's have a look. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. We're just waiting. Sizing in between. I think the undercut has been well and truly off. We got sizing in between LH and Reina, and the time difference is roughly about 5 seconds. So the 27-second time, I'd say, was spot on. The 27-second time of a pit stop difference is what exactly it brought down the gap. It was a very, very large lead that LH has had. Undercut didn't exactly work for Reina. Super Softs did have a bit more life. Ooh, excuse me, as LH is looking at the back end of Liam. Oh, let's have a look. Let's see. It's the tyres I want to look at. So all the drivers in front of LH, apart from Ben, are on mediums. None of them have stopped. So the fresh mediums will be looking into hounding in these. Magnus leading the race now. He has got a 2.5 second gap on Ben. Let's have a look at the... So a pit stop for Magnus will bring him out at the moment into 12th. It's a big drop. But he'll be on Super Softs, which means he will be flying back through that table. Quad GT currently sitting in second because we did have a pit from Sizen and Ben Cardiff as both pitted. Correct Savant flying past Apex. Did not see that happening. That was a nice move. Found that little gap that was between the wall and the tyres of Apex and posted it. You know, I will be calling Correct Savant Postman Pat with that manoeuvre. Absolutely sent it. Quad Duty nicely around turn 6. He's got Magnus inside, but Magnus is going. He's going. He's got 3-second penalty, I believe, on top as well. Yep. Correct Savant with a 9-second penalty. That's Correct Savant's got the early warning. Got a penalty within the first lap, which means he must have hit every single warning spot. Let's have a look. Where do we want to go, folks? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear me, who you want me to cover. Let's go down to DB because DB at the moment is battling right behind Jimstrav. Battle's not quite close. We've got a battle between Apex and Correct Savant to jump to as well in a moment. If I can say that, DB can still be a little bit thin. Liam with another 3-second oh, sorry. Yes, is it another one? Yes, it is another 3-second penalty. Carter with a 3-second penalty. So these drivers are picking penalties left, right and centre at this moment. We are only 9 laps in. We have we're on the 9th lap. So we've got 6 laps to go. Where is Magnus? Magnus is on lap 9, being our leader. Wonder when he's going to pit. If he's going to pit until this lap. This will be the opportune moment to pit because Quad Duty has pitted by the looks of it. Putting himself. Yeah, Quad Duty has put himself in 10th provisionally at the moment, as other drivers do come past. So he's in 10th. So maybe Magnus has got the time there to be getting back into the mix. He should be coming out above Quad Duty, but we'll see. We'll see how it is. We do have Correct Savant, Apex and Liam still to pit. No one around. Let's have a look at Apex as he is looking at that back of correct Savant. Now these two drivers, I would say they are quite evenly matched. They do have very similar results, similar performances. Obviously correct Savant at the moment has got the better of Apex, but not completely, because Apex is still in the fighting mix of it. And as Magnus pitted, Magnus is coming into the pits now. So let's see. I think it's a big Quaduti that we watch here to see whether Quaduti's undercut would have got him in front of Magnus. And it looks at the similar distance that Reina was on, so I think Magnus is safe. As Regan managed to do an undercut on Magnus. Let's see where Magnus is. Magnus is leaving the pits. So Regan has managed to get in front of Magnus. Position changes. Correct Savant currently in first. LH and Reina right behind him, so it looks like normal service will be resumed very shortly. The correct Savant destined for that pit. DB with a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Let's have a look at tyres. So Magnus at the front of the line of super soft drivers. Quite interesting to see how he does here. He is less than 4 seconds behind Regan, but he has 5 laps to do some damage on. Regan is closing in on RG. He's managed to get in within the second barrier, so we could be seeing DRS shortly. And there we go, DRS is open. Does it get any difference here? Nismo with a 3-second time penalty. Closes a gap, but makes no difference really when it comes down to the extended bus stop chicane as it looks. Now it looks like that is our. We've got Nismo on Liam. Be quite interesting to see how this works out. Liam is on the super softs. So did Liam make the move on Nismo before, or is this Nismo catching up with Liam because Liam is stuck behind DB at this moment? But Liam is making strides. Let's jump onto and board with Liam as he's hounding in DB. He's hooked that fishing line and he's reeling him in. Great effort by Liam here. He should have a moment here to open up the speed. His DRS is open, speed is up. Tyres are so much better. He's got a chance to get. He is able to brake a little bit later than DB due to the fact he is on the better tyre at this moment. And there we go. It looks like there's a little DB giving it a lot of space. Liam did run a little bit wide there, but had the position before he ran wide. So we've got Liam now in 12th with a few places to go. Ben with a 3-second time penalty. A lot of people up and down the table have got penalties. LH, Magnus and Sizen have not. Magnus without a penalty. Am I seeing this right? Magnus is new. I think it's because he's put all the practice in for this race. I'll be honest. He's actually done pretty well. The alternate strategy, he knew he had to do something different. He had to do something different from the usual because battling LH and Reina when they're on the normal strategy, it wasn't working for him. He had to make something different. He chose the alternate strategy. I don't think it's going to pay off this evening. Because LH is now in front of Correct Savant. Correct Savant, 11 laps in on those mediums. Reina is slowly catching up with Correct Savant. He is 5.2 seconds, well, just over 5 seconds right now, I would say. Cairo is 5 seconds behind Rayner. RG not far behind Cairo. RG could be put in the battle, but Regan's right behind RG as well. So we could be seeing a DRS train at the next DRS zone, which we're coming up to in a moment. With just a few more corners to go, and that'll be quite interesting to see, because Magnus is bringing them in. He has made that 5-second gap down to 2 seconds, so he will be coming in quick. But it does seem like the gap is opening up a little bit, as we can see. As we see the DRS open of RG, and DRS open is Regan in the candy pink BWT F2 car. And it does seem that this battle will continue on and on until either drivers drop out or Regan and RG manage to get past Cairo. But it is a great battle to see. Ben is just behind Apex at the moment. I think Apex is opening up that gap with being on the super softs. We'll drop down to Liam, who is also on super softs. It looks like he could be closing this gap. Rayner with a 3-second time penalty again. Not too sure how that's going to work out for him. Correct Savant has done a fantastic stint on these tyres, but I do believe this feature race has to have a pit stop in it at some point. So we'll wait to see that. Ben might be the one to watch, because he does seem to be hanging in there with Apex, even though Apex is on the better tyre. You know, it's younger, it's softer, generally just quicker, but Ben's not letting go of that at all. He's just in DRS brackets. Liam taking time off of Jim Strav, but then losing it in some corners. It's just Maverick looks like he could be making a move on Shiftmeister. A little bit of a wiggle from Maverick. Take that boogie into the dance floor, my friend. The track is for racing, not for dancing. And Shiftmeister tend to go wide there. A little bit twitchy on the steering wheel, Shiftmeister, so Maverick should be making up that time. It is coming into the DRS zone. Maverick will close up from 0.8 of a second down to 0.3 if he gets a good run here. He won't be able to overtake at this moment. Here we go. It's 0.6, so he's dropped down at 0.3 of a second. And Correa for duty. Well, correct Savant has jumped in the pits. So we have got our running in of the final lap with LH, Rayner, RG, Cairo, Magnus, Quaduti, Regan and Apex top 8. These will flip over for the final, for the sprint at the end. Ben, correct Savant, who's on the super soft tyres. I do believe if correct Savant pitted earlier, could have made a full effect with those super softs. But right now he's sitting 10th, he'll get a point. And that's about it. It's almost a waste of time. But then he could put these tyres on for the sprint and push to the end. He's made the medium tyres pretty much run the whole length of this race. He could easily make the super softs to do the same. Quite interesting to see. Jim Strav in 11th, Liam in 12th, but so close to Jim Strav. Can we expect a move on this straight? 0.3 could be the time difference of this straight, and it's 0.2, 0.1. Here we go, last lap move. Liam is now overtaking Jim Strav with correct Savant right in front of him. Now Liam is on 3 lap old super soft tyres, So we got LH is finished, Reina's finished, Magnus is finished. RG in 4th. Oh no, RG is dropped down. Quadruti's in 4th. RG in 5th. Reagan in 6th. Apex in 7th. Cara in 8th. Ben in 9th. Correct Savant in 11th. 10th for Jim Straff. Liam in 12th. Nismo in 13th. DB in 15th. Shiftmeister. See how he does. In 16th, with Maverick in 17th, and Carter, who has had 2 spin outs that I've seen, which has cost him quite a bit over time. And that's it. That's the end of the feature race. So, any drivers we've got? It says driver of the day was James Straff. Well, actually, I can't take it away from James Straff. He did have a great race. I'm not too sure who would. It's quite difficult. James Straff, for position wise, he did make up a lot of positions, but he was from the back to like you do see quite a few times from back end drivers will tend to get a middle price race. Correct Savant with a great stint on those medium tyres. Tyre strategy did not work for him because he was got pushed out of the points. LH for a dominant race. Magnus for a good race. Consistent. P3. I think that was fantastic. I'd actually give it to Magnus. Yes, he dropped down 1 place, but that race was good. He put the time, he put the effort in, he got the fastest lap as well. He put the effort in. Quadruti, good race. From 7th to 4th. Brilliant. Apex, from 12th to 7th. That's a hard move to make. So yeah, Jim Straff from 17th to 10th. I'm not taking that away from him. He did have a fantastic drive. Nismo from 18th to 14th. Again, a low back driver going into the mid pack. It does happen quite a bit. You've seen a lot of drivers on F1, F2 making from back, getting into the middle. It happens. The battle is always at the front. That's where the hard battles are. So the drivers at the top should be the ones to be recognised. And I would give it to probably Quadruti for managing to get through there, using the alternate strategy to get past a lot of these drivers that are quick. But that's down to the drivers to decide. Ben saying nice race. Yes, Ben, it was a fantastic race. I was quite impressed with your pace in qualifying as well as the race. Fantastic race. I'm expecting good things from you, Ben, and next season I think you can do a lot better. You just need a bit more time to practice. You'll learn the courses, you'll learn the track, you'll learn the other drivers, you'll be spot on. So here we go, and ready up for the sprint race. This is less of less time on the track, so it's less laps, but it does mean that it'll be more action because there's no pits. So it's all about driving. When I say no pits, it's no mandatory pits, so you don't have to change your tyre. You pick your tyre, you make it last. Question is, what tyre people are choosing? Does look like it should be mediums, because that will last the length of the race. But Correct Savant did show that the mediums could have lasted even longer, which means the super softs could be the one to make a difference. So let's jump on board with, as the formation lap goes round, let's have a look to see. Tyres. Everybody's on mediums. So it is all about racecraft. It's all about making it happen. We've got Cairo, Apex, Reagan, RG, Quadruti, Magnus, Reina, LH. All these drivers were flipped round. So Ben is sitting 9th at the moment with right behind LH and Reina, which means if he gets a good start and gets a foot to them, he knows he's done the hard bit and got past the 2 fastest drivers on the grid. So that'll be a good effort from Ben if he manages to do that. We've got Jim Straff in 10th, Size in 11th, Correct Savant in 12th, Liam in 13th, Nismo in 14th, DB in 15th, Shiftmeister in 16th, and Maverick in 17th, and Carter in 18th. Carter having a few spin outs in the last race. Let's see how he does in this race. there is a massive gap between RG and Kojiti and Magnus. It seems that the front drivers have sped off. Nismo's disqualified for the session, and so is DB. I think that would be minor contact, so they'll be disqualified from the formation lap. So they would not be able to get to warm their tyres. They will sit like two little naughty schoolboys in detention on the grid. So we are expecting some good racing from our races today, and it'll be quite interesting to see if LH and Reina can battle the way through, because they've got two strong drivers in P5 and P6 at the moment of Kojiti and Magnus. Both those drivers are fighting to get a top 3 position in that league, because it's still anybody's race really when it comes down to some of the positions in the championship. Kojiti and Magnus have the ability to be making a little bit of an upset. They have a really good race now, and Reina and LH don't manage to score points. They will take in chunks off them. We do have drivers such as Kyra, Apex, Reagan. Oh, Reagan's quite new to this. Ben, all sitting in the mid-table, so they will be looking for good points today to boost that position, maybe get a little bit higher, secure where they are. Ben did say he would be happy with 10th, as the drivers are now forming up on the grid. But 10th is nice. It's a mid-pack racer. He's quite happy being a mid-pack racer, but I'm sure he'd love to sit there with the top 4 and battling out with them. But we'll see how this goes. As all the drivers are lined up, we're waiting for the lights. So here we are, all cars ready to go, drivers ready to go. Just waiting on these magical lights that will make all the events happen. Just seems a little bit slow to start with. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out and away we go. As Cairo, Apex, Reagan all battling out at the front. It seems like Cairo and Apex, the 2 car drivers, are holding that up. Fantastic. It doesn't look, there's a little bit of a wiggle there in the middle. I can't work out who that was. As drivers up and down the board make a couple of contacts by the looks of it at 10-2, but we'll see how it pans out at the end. I think Reina has made massive steps up, but we'll confirm that to make when it looks like the grid settles a bit. So we've got Carter and Nismo, Liam all at the back. I wonder what happened there. So we're going to jump down. Caro, Apex, RG, Reina in 4th. That was a fantastic start from Reina. Just bear with me 1 moment. As we are racing. We've got a spin out from Reina. Oh my goodness. Just happened right in front of my eyes. Reina is setting himself back up. Let's jump ahead. I wonder whether that was a bit of a contact from behind or just lost a grip. But where's our next battle? RG. Battle with Apex. Fantastic battle. So drivers now, as the first lap goes in, we've got LH now up to 3rd. Oh no, is this? No, LH is not up to 3rd. This is again a mix up with the Codemasters setup. So we'll wait a moment as that happens. Reina with a 5-second penalty, speeding pit lane. Shiftmeister has been disqualified. Okay, I wonder what happened there. So we have Cairo, RG, Apex 1, 2, 3, Reagan in 4th, Quaduti in 5th, LH in 6th, Magnus in 7th, Jim Shaw in 8th, Ben in 9th, Correct Savant in 10th, 11th, Fun Nismo, DB in 12th, Maverick in 13th, Carter in 14th, Sizen in 15th, Reina, Liam and Shiftmeister out of the race. So as we're going to jump on board, we'll see if there's any comments from our drivers. No further comments at the moment, but we'll hopefully might get some update from the drivers if they're letting me know what's happened there. So let's see where the battles are. I believe Magnus, it looks like he might be battling it with Reagan at the moment. Magnus with a good run has managed to make that place back up from Reagan as he comes round. LH is in 5th, so LH is moving up the pack with Quaduti and Apex sitting in front of him. Quaduti looks like he could be making a move on Apex within this lap if he keeps close enough. Apex goes a little bit wide there. That will be more for the stewards to look at. Quaduti goes a little bit wide, but that is because LH is making a move on the inside. As you can see, LH is now in front of him. LH slipping through the middle of the pack. As now LH is looking to make a move onto Apex. Quaduti will be looking at LH in this DRS zone. Magnus now behind Quaduti as he gets past Reagan. Magnus with DRS with Reagan, so this is a battle between these two drivers. Magnus puts himself in a very defensive position, manages to hold off Reagan, who has to slow down so he didn't hit the back. Let's go up, because I want to see how LH manages to get past. I do believe I may have it seems like our feed is gone. So we do have a few drivers with us at the moment who are looking to be getting the maximum points they can. We do have a safety car out because it looks like DB has crashed. Is it DB that's crashed? Yeah, it would have been DB who's crashed out. Someone can let me know what happened to DB, that would be fantastic, as all the drivers are bunching up. So 11 laps on medium tyres will be made a lot easier now with the safety car. Cairo will be slowing right down, bunching his pack up ready for the safety car. So I'm just going to let, as the safety car is happening, there won't be any overtaking, hopefully not any more incidents. So we can talk about anything you want, and if you've got any comments, guys, just drop them in. We can talk about how surprised I was that Magnus did not manage to get a penalty, but that is just down to the fact he put the practice in for this race, and I mean a lot of practice. Ben with a penalty, a drive-through penalty due to speeding under the safety car. Nismo 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. I'll be cutting that corner. That's bizarre. New front wing for Ben. He will still need to do a drive-through penalty. So yeah, he'll still do a drive-through penalty. Nismo with a 3-second penalty. Reagan with a 3-second penalty. And Apex with a 3-second penalty. Ben's not racing with Jim. Might be a bit of a contact with himself and Jim Strav, but that'll be something that he could discuss with Rena in the lobby. Yeah, I was wondering what happened there, Ben, and I'm sorry to see that you've got a drive-through penalty there for speed. I'm not too sure what happened there. So hopefully you manage to catch up with the pack, get your drive-through penalty done soon, and get yourself back into fighting in the positions, as the pack is tightening up, and we're just waiting to find out when the safety car is going back in. So I don't think it will be this lap. No, it won't be. So we have another lap of safety car for drivers. So with the drive-through penalty, it must be under full racing speed. So Ben will not be able to do that until next lap probably, but he is catching up with the pack as it is now. So 4 laps down, nearly 5 laps down. So we're just about coming up to the halfway mark of this race. Cairo holding off well. Let's see what the type position changes. So LH, Maverick, Carter all making good movements up. Nismo as well. We can see that there's been a few DNFs from our drivers that we didn't see in the last race. So we'll find out off our race, in our racing lobby, to find out what happened there. DB was quite interested to see what happened to him, for him to be crashing out and bringing out the safety car. Rayner spinning out whilst in the battle for the lead. So that was quite interesting. Chances are this is where the car will be going in, because all the drivers are close together. So it's possible that we're going to get a safety car coming in after 10, 12. So after 10, 12, after 10, 12, just before 10, 13, we'll get the nod to say whether the race is going to be back or not, because it is that timing band that they do tell us when the safety car is coming in. So as you can see, Cairo here warming up his tyres. Tight swim. Well, I tend to, personally, when I'm driving, I tend to go for long sweeps. Safety car is in on this lap, so Cairo will slow right down to bunch the pack up even more. As we can see, we'll just drop away from this and we'll have a look to see where these drivers are. So we've got Cairo, RG, Apex, LH, Quadruti, Magnus, Reagan, Jim Straff all in the points at this moment. Chances are this may change with penalties and driver position changes. Excuse me. Cairo now pushing to open up the fast, and then we're back racing again, and we're on lap 7 of 11. So there's 5 laps to go, as RG looks like he's making a move. He is alongside Cairo, and a little bit of wheel touching there. Cairo goes off, But did RG make the position before he went off, or was he still in second when Cairo went off the track? That is something that stewards may look into if it affects the race further down. So RG has gone off the track there. Apex closing in with, you got LH. LH is right behind Apex. Still haven't got DRS at the moment, but I'm sure with some of the drivers they won't need DRS to make moves happen. It is Sochi after all, so anything could happen. Still waiting for Magnus to hit a wall. So Magnus is right behind Quadruti. Nice bit of pace there. Quadruti gives Magnus a lot of space there, and the overtake is done, but Quadruti is still looking for battle. So just looking behind, we've got Reagan clips. So Reagan clips Quadruti and Reagan spins. Correct Savant runs into Jim Strav and forces Jim Strav to slide out. So that's it'll be quite interesting to see how that'll be looked at later. We've got a yellow sector, sector 3. So we've got to drop down. Ben is in the pit. I think that'll finish right through. Reagan is out, and Jim Strav is recovering from that contact with Correct Savant. And we're on board with Jim as it seems like he's given up and he's just ploughing the car from wall to wall. This is not something that we like to see, and I am only on board with him at the moment due to the fact that I'm hoping that he changes his mind and continues with the race, and it looks like he has. Correct Savant with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Could be more than that if the stewards see that contact as malicious. Magnus finally gets his penalty that I've been waiting for him to get since last race. Pushing a bit too hard there and catches himself a 3-second penalty. So he would need to beat Apex on the track to make that position stand. And let's have a look. We've got drivers moving down. Let's have a look at so Cairo's dropped down a few places, dropped down 7 places. Must have spun out or lost traction or just had a very bad couple of turns. Nismo in 7th. DRS has been enabled, so we should be seeing DRS in a moment for this pack of drivers. Magnus will not have DRS, but Quadruti will, as Quadruti now brings in that gap from 0.7 down to 0.5. Hopefully that will make the race a bit. Oh no, Magnus is it went down to 0.5, and Magnus has managed to hold himself off a bit there, so he didn't lose too much time. And Jim Strav is out. Jim Strav has gone into the pit and retired by the looks of it. So we do have, at about a moment, Ben is sitting in last after serving his drive-through penalty for speeding from under the safety car. LH in the lead by 0.6. RG not going to be giving up that quickly, but he does have a penalty, so LH is quite comfortable at the moment with only 2.5 laps to go. We have Apex in 3rd with penalties, Magnus in 4th with penalties, and Quadruti in 5th without penalties. Let's have a look and see where the penalties are. Add the lead the time in, and let's see. So we will be looking at LH in 1st, possibly Quadruti 2nd, with the time penalties getting added on. But he would need to be within 3 seconds of RG to make that happen. So it looks like a good podium. Excuse me, a good podium for Quaduti there in his hands if he just carries on. Cairo has retired from the session. Cairo must have had a bit of a bad moment there to drop all those places from first, controlling the race for most of it, and has lost out to RG and LH. So now we're down from 18 down to 11 drivers. And 5 drivers have penalties. Obviously Ben has had penalties as well himself. So we have Maverick in the pit. Moves on to the super soft tyres. Will he be able to make any difference with them with 2 laps to go? As we go, jump on with LH, who is basically smoking the tailpipe of ORG at the moment with DRS enabled. It looks like this move is going to be made. Nismo with a more time penalty, but we don't. Good respectful driving between RG and LH, but that bit of respectful driving there has opened the door to Apex. So RG has made that allow that to happen, but Apex has a 9-second penalty. As we are coming round, 2 more turns before we've hit the final lap. Quaduti now sitting in 3rd, which means he will get 2nd. And with the time penalties, it looks like Magnus will get 2nd. Not 2nd, 3rd, sorry. So it could be a good result for Magnus all round. He's not going to be able to make, on his last lap, he's not going to be able to get past Quaduti and make 3 seconds to cover that, unless Quaduti himself picks up a time penalty. But it's not very often that Quaduti does get penalties, and he's had the whole of the last race to learn where he is making those mistakes. So it's going to be unlikely there. Right, so as we have a look, Apex making a challenge on LH 4-4. Needs to make that stick because he could be losing right down to 7th if he doesn't, or even 8th if he makes, or unlikely 8th with a 12-second penalty Nismo has. But he also, RG does have a 6-second penalty, so it's going to be quite close, quite tight. But Apex has got a few penalties there that he's going to have to look out for. It seems like LH is going a little bit slower than normal on that lap. Apex has made the full commitment of taking that corner. LH is going to battle him back, but LH can be patient and allow penalties to take it for him. So we do have LH there right behind Apex as Apex comes around a fair corner, around the penultimate corner. Now LH right behind them. Can LH make the move and make it first on track? No, he just waits it out. So LH has got 3rd, Quaduti 2nd, Magnus 3rd, Correct Savant in 4th, RG in 5th, oh sorry, Carter in 5th, RG in 6th, Apex in 7th, Nismo in 8th, Benjamin Cardiff will be in 9th, with Sizen in 10th, Maverick in 11th. As the last few drivers do come over the line, it was a quality race by Quaduti and Carter, who have managed to get up a lot of places. Let's see, 13 places by Carter, my driver of the day, obviously with that. I didn't see him put too many steps wrong. I don't think he clipped anybody, but we'll see. Correct Savant taking out Jim Straff. Maybe taken to the incident board with the stewards, but well done to LH for 1st in Sochi, both on the sprint and feature race. So that has been the end of rounds 21 and 22 of the Rainers Racing League F2 League on a Sunday evening. as our podium place drivers take up on the podium to accept their trophies. We'll say thank you very much to everybody who's viewed in with us today. And this race has been sponsored by Sim Racer Coin, a cryptocurrency aimed to reward sim racing winners with currency to buy sim racing equipment. My name's been Gary, and this has been Rainers Racing League. We look forward to seeing you this time next week for our final rounds at Abu Dhabi Yas Marina. Thank you very much, and good night.